In this video, we're diving deeper into Trello board sharing and permissions. So if you don't have a board yet, make sure you watch the first two videos in this series to get caught up with us. Otherwise, let's just dive into it. But before we do, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that little notification bell so that you never miss a tutorial or upload. Okay, we went over a lot in the last video, so I'm going to dive us a little bit deeper into a few things that we touched on briefly in the last video. So we did talk already about the visibility of the board, meaning whether or not this board is private, is available to your workspace, and is public, meaning that technically anyone could find it on the internet. That is one way to protect your board and give you some privacy. But let's say you need specific people to be able to interact with this board. You could potentially make it a public board that anyone can see, but it does expose a lot of information. So maybe you still want to protect it. You don't want everyone to be able to see it, but there are different levels of interaction that people might need to take. So some of these board settings, these permission settings, are available to you on free boards and some are not. So we're going to talk real quick about some of the confusion around billing when it comes to users and people who have access to your boards. If you are in a free workspace, so this is not your entire account, your account, unless you are in an enterprise level, is going to have varying levels of premium status on a workspace by workspace basis. So if you are in a free workspace that you are not paying for, you are able to have up to 10 collaborators within that entire workspace. It doesn't matter if these people are members on only one board or multiple boards, they will count against that 10. You also only have 2 ways of giving them access. So let's look really quick here. When we are sharing a board with someone, you're going to see here in a free workspace, you're going to have the member option, and then observer is going to be grayed out. We'll get back to that in a second. So you will have an option to invite someone to your board as a member. Once they have been added to your board as a member, you will have the ability to make them an admin. I don't recommend this unless this is someone who is a partner with you. Making someone an admin gives them more capability than you would want a random person to have. If they are a member, they are able to edit cards, they are able to add attachments, download things, communicate with you. Just about anything that you would want them to be able to do, they will be able to do. What they will not be able to do is interact with the automations on that board. That is something that is admin level only. They also won't be able to invite other people to that board or remove other people from that board. So you can see why it would be very important not to give this admin access to anyone that you don't absolutely need to have on there, because there is the danger of them being able to remove you from your own board. Not that they would do that, but it could happen, and it could happen on accident. So you don't want to do that unless there is an absolute reason that that person needs to be an admin. So you'd be able to have them as a member. You can see here it's grayed out for me, but that's only because, as it says, all boards must have at least one admin, and I am currently the admin on this board, as you will be on your board, okay? If you are in a premium or higher workspace, so there are free workspaces, there's a standard level, which is when you are paying for it, but at a minimal rate. And then there's that premium and above, which is enterprise. You will then see this ability to make someone an observer. This is a great option to take advantage of when you need to keep the board private from the world, but you want to make sure that the person you're giving access to can't go in and interact with and potentially mess something up, delete something or whatever in your board. This observer option is great, even if you need that person to be able to communicate with you, because as an observer, they can't interact with or touch any of the description or due date or any of that stuff that you may have put on there, but they can comment, which means that they have the ability to communicate with you. You do also have an option, in addition to putting their email address directly here and inviting them, to create a link. When you create this link, it's going to default that anybody who has access to that link, anybody who clicks it will join the board as either a member or an observer. This can be really helpful if there are a number of people that you are inviting. It can be a little bit quicker of a way for that person to join. However, because it is a link that anybody can use, technically somebody could share it with somebody that you did not authorize and they would be able to come in and join. So you do want to be a little bit more aware of that and not share a link unless there's a reason to do so. If somebody were to come across your board, let's say it's a public board or you have shared it in a different way other than this, and I will show you there's one other way that you can share a board, you will see join requests. This is when somebody, just like you would see in a Facebook group or something like that, is somebody has come across your board, they would like to join the board. You will see this as a request. You can approve them or deny them as needed. So that final way that you can share your board is found here in our 3-dot menu. When you come into the 3-dot menu, you scroll all the way down and you can see there's an option here of print, export, and share. So when you click on that, there's going to be a link. This is a direct link to this board. If you were to share this link, this is not technically a share link the way we were just looking at. This person would see the board but would need to request to join. I hope you liked that video and more importantly that you found it helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing it with a fellow solopreneur. And make sure you check out the description for links to how we can connect and maybe even work together.